Hello and welcome to another episode of 5-Minute Dissertation Diaries. My name is Marty Scholes and today is Sunday, December 12th, 2021. This is the third recording I've made today. I'm trying to catch up. I had some hardware problems. You may have heard about it. Got some issues, but I think I've got it taken care of. I'm able to take some video and fairly high quality ones too, it looks like. Let's talk about what happened with the week ending December 5th. That was last week. On Monday, which would have been November 29th, I was looking for instrumentation for my theoretical gap. And what I did was I reread one of my articles, Angwin and Meadow, 2015, and I found instrumentation. I was so excited. I'm now considering that I could use a quantitative approach, but I'm not sure. I looked up the Thomson and Reuters database. Or Reuters, whatever it is. It's been used in some other articles to see if I could get it. I couldn't find it. I did find PitchBook. I tried to sign up for a free trial. They wouldn't do anything with me. I talked to one of my referrals. You'll notice I backed off my referral hunt and my site hunt. That was intentional. The person who's part of my seminal book, the writer, Dr. Haspeslagh, Philippe C, I believe, he responded to my question about instrumentation. And I made a note about the temporal locus of the model. I felt really good about that. I actually haven't heard from him since. It's been nearly 2 weeks. But I was really, really happy about it. On the first, I skimmed 28 items published since 2020 that reference the seminal book and also use the word symbiosis. And I confirmed the gap nobody's discussing aspect. I don't know when, but I went through and I looked to see if anybody used the word de facto. That's not a thing. I sent out some LinkedIn invitations to some other people for referrals. I reached out to another referral, and I submitted the learner dissertation page update. That was necessary on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Didn't do anything. Had some other stuff. Had to get caught up on work on Saturday. I reread and marked up portions of my book. I think I received a copy of it. I paid to have it, a book cut. I'll tell you this, I shouldn't, but nobody's watching these, so it's okay. I actually bought a copyrighted book, a copy of this book, and I had it sent to a company that would cut the book and scan it because I was tired of not having a scanned copy that I could mark up and use and have with me at all times. I've got an actual copy myself, and I bought a second copy to have scanned. And then I paid a company to scan it. I wanted to buy the electronic version. I begged the publisher for an electronic version. Nope, won't do it. I'd much rather that money went to the author. I'd much rather that money went to the publisher. Nope. So instead, what I did is spent $10 on this book and had it delivered to this scanning shop in San Jose. And then I paid them $50 to cut it, scan it, and make this OCR the scan. And they did. So that went there whenever it was. I got it back, I think, Wednesday the 1st, maybe. I got it back, or the 2nd or the 3rd, but late last week I got it back. Man, I love it. It's great. It's in my Apple books. It's in Evernote. Use it all the time. Love it. Love it. I had it on my screen earlier today. I was using it. Love it. But I paid $60 for this thing to have it sent, cut, destroyed, and scanned. Really a shame. I wish it didn't happen. Nonetheless, now that I had it, on the 4th, a week ago yesterday, I went through and I marked up portions of it, the electronic copy of it. And I discovered several perspectives, several items that I need to work on. One is the axes of the typology. I found out that there's a need for strategic independence and the need for autonomy. That's culture preservation. I knew that anyways, but it's nice to have it all spelled out. I also had the integration approach, the typology. It's absorption, preservation, symbiosis. But interestingly enough, I noticed it has different names. So what you'll hear about later was I went through all my material looking for names of that. And went through and found how it's called. It uses different names. Different authors use different names for it. So there are 3 types. There's the absorption, preservation, symbiosis, and aspects. There are 3 aspects. There's planned, objective, and de facto. Planned and objective, or ex ante. Is that how you say that? I hope so. They're from before the integration takes place. De facto is after the integration takes place. Interesting, Haspeslagh talks about this here, and he talks about it in a subsequent article, but it's not talked about by anybody else. And in fact, the time horizon, or the temporal locus, of when the integration approach is used is rather sloppily dealt with by later authors. And I'm going to talk about that. In fact, I did today when I was working on updating my identification of the problem space. I talked about that quite at length. So that was good. But also there's the acquisition purpose. And he talked about three things. There's domain strengthening, which is where you try to solidify your current market position. There's domain extension, which is where you move into adjacencies. And there's domain exploring, and that's where you try to explore what could be an adjacent or strategic relevant market. And he talked about how absorption is good for strengthening, for extension, symbiosis and absorption are good, and exploring for preservation. All right, good for me. A week ago, on the 5th, redid the 10 strategic points in a proposal to match the new information on the theoretical foundation, and I revised the introduction to be consistent with the new 10 strategic points, and I revised all-purpose statements text for consistency, and I updated references to the seminal book to have page numbers. I know I said that I did that earlier, but I don't think I caught them all, but I think I did this time. That's what I was up to the week ending a week ago. See, I'm almost caught up. Hope you're doing well. Take care.